This is a podcast on how to grow on Twitch. If you're a Twitch streamer, if you're not a Twitch streamer, you can still learn a heck of a lot on how to grow in life because we have absolutely wonderful people in here and a very positive environment that you're able to take an introspective look into both of our minds and see what works for you, what doesn't. And I always say maybe you can learn a thing or two from this podcast, whether you're just a person trying to get through life or whether you're a Twitch streamer in general. This is still beneficial to each and every person that watches because it's an introspective look on not just a positive streamer, but a positivity mindset when it comes to individuality. If you can learn something or feel inspired, then at the end of the day, it's all worth it to me. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm excited. I'm a little bit nervous, a little bit tired, but the level of excitement is kind of through the roof. So we're going to be great today.
Hey, me too. I'm super excited and super nervous. Just to make you feel a little more in tune with the stream, I'm just as nervous as you. Let's speak upon that first, like how we found each other.
Yeah.
Through Family Friendly Live, and Carl Dacius was actually the one that got me into Family Friendly Live. But as soon as I got in, there wasn't really a lot of people that I connected with, and then I found your stream. You do art. I don't normally watch art on Twitch, but I found it very interesting. Your demeanor, the way that you create these drawings based off of like your community. You do the Pokemon drawings, but you base it off of like what the community chooses for you, right?
Exactly.
We continued to talk from there, and I have a very particular type of person that, you know, we want on the podcast in general because I like to talk about growth and positivity. So I like people who present that too. And it seems like you've definitely done it on several occasions. And I was like, oh my God, this would be a perfect choice for the next podcast guest.
Thank you. It's an absolute honor. And David Kimball got me in here. Big shout outs to Kimball for getting me in with the Family Friendly Live. You can check us out. We've got website and Discord channel as well, where you can check all of our events. Being with a Pokemon background, being a Pokemon professor, working with kids all the time, I wanted to make sure that this was going to be accessible to any age group. With Family Friendly Live reaching out to me and then building the connection with you, that's really gotten the ball rolling. And you've really, even if I'm lurking, you've really become like a brother figure to me. So it's been amazing to me, and I'm sure there are many other Juicy fans out there that would agree.
Going on random raids all the time and then meeting new community groups and whatnot, it's kind of rare to find people with similar goals and similar likings, especially someone who does art and I do games, so it's a little different on that note, but yet our personalities still are matching with each other. So
yeah, we want that positivity. We want people to feel welcome, but also have the mindset of goals also, whether it's small or big, but finding that potential growth, which is a really big thing for you, Juicy. I know that.
How do you feel upon growth in general? Let's just start with that question.
Growth can come in so many forms, and sometimes it's hard to see that people as an individual are growing. Just saying yes to opportunities. I mean, even if I took an English class all through school and in high school, one moment in particular, I had a teacher who'd made the statement that we wouldn't have stories or people to look up to if people always said no. Say yes, take a leap of faith, try something new. And that definitely stuck with me because nothing's ever going to change if you're always turning down opportunities.
Any sort of opportunities, if I feel like it's a moderately good to really good idea, I usually say yes in most cases. Probably you in this podcast, you probably were like, this is a pretty bad idea, but I'll say yes anyway. But yeah.
No, I knew it was a great opportunity. It's you.
For sure.
Bring so much joy just to not only my face, but I know there's so many other people who just appreciate having such a warm and welcoming environment that you are able to provide for all of us over here on Twitch and even over on your YouTube channel.
I do notice that you do put a lot of work into your channel too. How many days a week do you stream?
Now I'm streaming about 4 days a week on average. An occasional Friday or Saturday will slide in there, of course. We're all just having fun. But as far as the growth aspect of that goes, I started with 1 day a week, slowly added 2, kind of went up to 3 and 4, and then, you know, life events happen. And so we're just now getting the ball back rolling from life events.
Okay. Did you start as an art stream, or did you grow into that?
So I kind of started as an art stream. So I do only, out of my 4 regular streams a week, only one of them is an art stream. All the other ones still keep that Pokemon theme related. I'm a Pokemon professor, which basically means that I take a test to keep that title with Pokemon Company. And I volunteer a lot of my time, especially when we're not in a pandemic, helping out young trainers, old trainers, far and new, and all this stuff. And being able to share my hobby with them. So I play the video games, I play the card games, and we've just kind of slowly added more from there. So often we'll do even a fun trivia night where, you know, the whole family can show up and question each other and give out prizing, just have a really good time.
What got you so involved with Pokemon in general? Like, why was that the theme of choice?
Pokemon has always been a big part of my life. Whenever things are ever feeling rough, whether it's, you know, personal family things or a hard time in school, or I just had one little thing that kind of made me take a step back from, you know, whatever was happening that day. Pokemon was always there, whether the video game, the TV show, etc. It always made me happy. It really encouraged me to read as a kid and start really practicing my math, which is not my forte, but being able to build those skills, and the older that I became, realizing how much impact Pokemon has on my life, again, in regards to not just the education part with reading and math, socializing too, being able to interact with others, also being able to read body language kind of becomes part of the game when you're playing, you know, competitive TCG. You want to see, do they have win in hand? What if I do this or that? But overall, the Pokemon community it's always been such a welcoming place for me, and so warm as a source of positivity that even from my darkest places, it's always brought me back out of my little turtle shell. So I wanted to be able to share that love and continue that connection that I've found with it with other people.
I love that. How long have you been into the Pokemon scene?
Well, Pokemon's celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. That was back in February, but celebrating a year long, and I've been around since before Pokemon, so it's been a part of my life every single moment.
Every single moment. Do you remember opening the packs whenever you were little? And
oh my goodness,
you were just so excited for that holographic card, and then you get a trainer card, and you're like, what is this?
Why? Yeah. And then you get into competitive, you're like, oh, this is a really important card. Yeah, something just so magical about that holographic card, and just going through the packs is just, even just thinking back, it's a good dose of nostalgia.
Yes, absolutely. Do you have the full collection?
Not quite a full collection. There are times here and there where I've kind of dipped out on collecting because I mean, a lot of us have gone through, whether or not it was college specifically, but a broke period.
I feel you with that.
I've got quite a few boxes, like moving boxes full of Pokemon cards. So a couple thousands.
Couple thousands. That is much more than I have. I can tell you that. Although I used to collect Pokemon cards. Me and my sister, we used to compete when we were younger. I have the full 150. I know that. And then I know up to about Gen 3 because I played Pokemon Go, but Gen 4's like here and there for me. But other than that, how many generations actually? There's like 8, right? Or 9?
Yes, there are.
8, yeah.
Look at you.
I think I know some things sometimes. How did you decide on art?
Yeah.
Since this is a gaming site, generally, I know there's a lot of art now forming. Twitch seems to be like, when I think of Twitch, maybe it's just my mind, but I think predominantly more games than art. I could be just sugarcoating it all, but at the same time, that's where my mind envisions. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that in regards to, I mean, there's so many more games that we get so many more specific categories for what kind of games that you can come across. Even just Pokemon for itself, you have the TCG, you got the VGC, and then you have all the other games like the main title series, spin-offs, etc., that you can find through different categories here on Twitch. Whereas art is just art. There isn't like digital art, traditional art, etc. In video games, you can be a bit more interactive with people or have those opportunities more so easily because you can play together. Kind of hard to like share your art photos together in that aspect of, being with the community and interactive, but having that creative output for me, and as to why I've gone to art, to get to the other part of your question, art's always also been there for me. It runs in my blood. I'm a 4th generation artist. I'm half Japanese. So going back to my great grandmother, she made like kimonos and yukatas, and she made my yukatas a summer light, kind of more of a cotton versus heavy 12-layer silk kimono. But my great grandmother hand sewn my very first yukata that I still own, which is far too small for me now. And then going down the line to her daughter, my grandmother, she does parchment work. My mother has done graphic design, interior design, and she's designed logos, wedding invites, and all these kinds of amazing things on top of just enjoying comic arts as well. So lots of influence growing up from my family members.
And how long have you been streaming?
I hit my 1 year, July 27th. So almost a year.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And are you going to do anything for that stream in particular? Some people do some 1 year anniversary things.
Yeah, so I've been doing like extra raffles almost every time I stream this month, just to get some hype going. I have a sub goal happening as well. If we can hit 30 subs by a Thursday, I do an extra Friday stream, which is art stream. That people really seem to enjoy. And having it earlier in the day on a Friday, because I usually start streaming those art ones at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. It can be a little harder for all my buddies out there and even across the world, but having an opportunity to, we got earned a Friday stream. We'll start it earlier in the day, go for as long as possible as an option, and give more people a chance to get in on the art, because it's also for me a good way to not only be creative in how busy of a schedule my life tends to be, but be able to give back to my community and thank them. I'm going to make you a personal piece. Let me know what you want to see and let's make it happen.
Yeah. And so I was going to talk a little bit more about your pieces and your art that you create on stream. Do you have a favorite drawing that you drew on stream before? Do you have a favorite of yours?
Such a hard question, because
it is. You've probably drawn a lot of different ones.
If I'm doing this almost every Monday at least, and I do 5 art pieces on average every time, and doing that for almost a year. I did a recent one that had orange and pink sunset, and gradients aren't always easy with markers. Something like watercolors is much easier, but markers is kind of its own league for sure. And there's one that I did of a really awesome, powerful lightning storm featuring Rayquaza, a dragon Pokemon. There's some pieces that help me push, even if I'm uncomfortable, like somebody requesting, oh, may I have this in this type of setting? Drawing settings for me, like landscapes, is always a challenge, because usually in my own sketchbook even, I'll draw a figure or an object, or name it. I'm not going to be drawing a background and give it a solid surrounding, but adding that gives the piece so much depth, not only visually, but story-wise as well. When they make these requests for things that are my weak points, they are also helping me grow. And I push myself, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make it happen, because I want to show how much I appreciate their support. But it all comes back around. It's like a fun game of karma. We're all just shaking hands. Sometimes, taking a step back and looking at yourself is one of the hardest things that you can do.
I always say one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do was accept the fate that is around me right now. Like, whatever is happening in my life, I need to accept that I am here, and I need to accept that I need to experience life to either get me out of said situation or something of that nature, where I just need to be in the present moment and live in the present moment and experience it the way that someone who grows all the time should experience it.
Making sure that your eyes are open, and not only, as you said, accepting how things are, but having that acknowledgement too. Even if it's a negative feeling, I acknowledge that it's there. And just like any other moment, this too shall pass. So don't be afraid to live in the moment.
What keeps you motivated to continue drawing on a weekly basis? And to that question after, is there any times that you have not wanted to draw but you got on anyway?
In regards to getting on and drawing every week, it's knowing that I can give back to the community and drawing with somebody specifically in mind, understanding love language. I'm a gifter as a love language. So even if that's cooking a meal or finding just a really silly keychain that just made me think of something in particular, that's my language.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to come on to Twitch every Monday night or those occasional Fridays, etc., to be able to gift something off and show my appreciation and just say, hey, thank you so much for being here. Here's a little token of my appreciation for you.
Yeah.
Does a lot aside from that opportunity itself. As I mentioned, giving myself some growth with practicing things that aren't my forte.
And what is your drawing material of choice?
Ooh, drawing material of choice. They're the same size as a Pokemon card. So itty bitty. The measurements. It's just a Bristol board paper that's 2.5 by 3.5 inches. And I use Copic markers, which are used especially by traditional artists in Japan who do comic book work. Growing up, I really wanted to be a comic artist. My grandmother has always supported me in that, and she got me like monthly magazines so I could read and study all the different techniques people do and opportunities to receive with those, and really just supported my artistic aspect, even if it was very nerdy. And it wasn't necessarily her language. She understood my passion for it and encouraged it completely.
I love that you have a support system in your family and even your friend group. I think that it's so important because there are a lot of unfortunate people that honestly can't even find support systems within their family, and then they have trouble making friends. How do you feel to have a support system like that?
It was kind of hard, and we'll get a little bit of background with me.
Sure.
Just kind of like growing up, I moved a lot. I was in a military family. I'm always open with my goobers on stream. There have even been times where life was so rough. To start, I wasn't allowed to have video games, and it took me a bit to realize that we just weren't allowed to have video games because we didn't have that big of a household income. Mm-hmm. And so the focus was always keeping the roof over our heads and making sure our bellies were full. And so an absolutely big shout out to my mother for all the sacrifices she did throughout the life to make sure that my siblings and I were always fed, even our friends. Having kind of these like rougher moments here and there, they always open your eyes to realize just how lucky you are here and there, and to really appreciate when something good happens, knowing that, okay, things are rough, but I still have this thing or this person, and continuously having the support of people like my mother and all these friends and stuff. You don't have to call, your family your true family. You can create your own. I've definitely been doing that with you and many other streamers as well. And just really wanting to encourage that growth and feed off of each other's big, not just as a channel, but for your insights as well. It just makes me so happy and brings such a joy to keep thriving.
Do you find Twitch to be like a very supportive place?
It's probably based on who you are. Like put yourself out there and you'll attract, similar things, almost like a magnet. And I think just being me and acknowledging growth and being able to look at scenarios, good or bad, from a different point of view is very helpful. And just being completely open and honest with everybody on my channel has really been returned like tenfold by the people that do show up. Occasionally I will still get the trolls. We have such a great community that is continuously growing. They put so much love. Even when I've had the roughest days, I want to come back. I want to talk to them. They are my family. They're my support. And I would not be here without any of them. So, all you goobers, you mean so much to me. And having family members just like you, Juicy, like that's what this is about for me.
I'm going to revert back to what you said a little earlier about making your own support system. And that's exactly what I've been doing as well on Twitch, and that's why I go on random raids, and that's why I join communities, because if you don't have that support system, it's really, really hard in your mind to continue to process that. Don't you think Twitch gets a little much sometimes? Like there's something about it that sometimes it gets a little stressful, and sometimes you need that support system to lie on.
Yeah, I think Twitch can be a little stressful here and there. I myself, whether or not it's, a healthy way of looking at it, I'll have some of my friends mentioned like, oh, you had an average of 33 viewers on your last drawing episode. That was fantastic. And I responded with like, really? I've got Twitch up with the stream channel stuff so that I can do my polls and whatnot, but it'll also show me how many people are currently watching and stuff. I don't pay attention to any of that. If I'm worrying about the numbers game, I'm not actually putting myself out there and trying to build those connections with people like I want to do.
100% true.
When I get the opportunity, let's just see how things are going. And then I can just kind of, give myself a pat on the back or say, okay, what's different from this month versus last month? Why was this stream different? And how come this stream worked so well, despite doing things a little differently from normal or things like that? And being able to self-assess and review yourself is very important.
To review yourself, since you run a very creative and inclusive stream, what sort of life lessons have led you to the character GoomiGumi?
So again, Pokemon Professor. So the second part of Gumi, the Gumi, is part of my name, which is Megumi. And being a Pokemon Professor, I always hang out with people of all ages, but I specialize hanging out with the younger kids. We started right before the pandemic, especially juniors group. So kiddos under 13 years of age. I would help them out and teach them, guide them through math and reading, just really encourage that growth. They've taught me so much patience as well. Such a wide variety of people. And I can understand, yes, Megumi is not a name that you hear every day. There's an actress by the name of Uoza. She was on Orange is the New Black, but she made a speech that really rang to me whether or not I watched the series, that she absolutely hated her name growing up. And her mother said, people will remember your name. If they can remember names like Galileo and Leonardo and other famous people with names from different cultures, they will remember your name. So I've got Megumi, and everybody is cool with that. But you do get occasional like those kids who really struggle with their consonants and vowels and things like that as they're getting introduced to all of this and also socializing. I have so many shy kiddos that show up. So aside from meeting somebody new, putting yourself forward, and then asking a question out loud, and even in public, such public settings, it can be a lot. And to have one of my treasured trainers, 10 years old or whatever, and he says, Megumi, is it okay if we all call you Gumi, just like the Pokemon? And I was like, that's brilliant. I don't know why I never thought of that. It brings me closer to the thing that I like, which is Pokemon. And Gumi is, and the way I spell it for the second way, is a nickname from my name. So why wasn't that a normal to begin with? One less consonant, and it's an actual Pokemon name that is really fun and cute. So
with the experience of teaching kids, young adults, etc., what has been one of your favorite moments? Was there any breakthrough moments that you have found over the last couple of years?
About probably 3, like very quickly came to my mind. I think the first one was when I did have, as a young boy and girl, the little sister was much younger, probably just really learning to read. And she just really appreciated the cards as art visually. But her brother had a handful of cards, really wanted to learn how to play. And this was at a huge regionals event. So we had thousands of people there. And I was there as a volunteer, just teaching the game to people or playing some matches if people were bored and couldn't find somebody to play with. These parents brought in their young son and daughter and said, so my son's been collecting and he doesn't know how to play, but we know, this is a big event for it. And we want to see if we can get him more involved with his hobby. And I said, yeah, I'd love to. Let's teach him how to play. And then his sister showed interest, guiding her through. And I kind of explained how the basics of the game goes. You want to get your points to 0, which is like the opposite of most games. You want to get as many points as possible. But there are other win conditions, etc. And finding kind of a balance in the core of your deck. What is its goal? Let's get it to that goal. Seeing the parents just really like, okay, this sounds interesting. Can you teach us how to play too? And when they asked if I could teach them how to play too, I was like, yes, absolutely. Because having that bond with a parent, and even if it's not their thing, them as a parent showing that they truly care about their own children and what their interests are and being involved is such a huge impact on their growth into adults later on in life is so wonderful to see. And I met them that one time at regionals and they found my store after the big event and they started becoming regulars. And it just made me so happy, especially seeing chill, nerdy people in just like a t-shirt or whatever. The mom is a little bit more posh in her aesthetics, but she gets so competitive in the game, and it just warms my heart where she's like, yes, I beat my kid finally. He always wins. I'm just like, I'm so proud of you, Mom. I'm so proud of you. But like seeing that they can all help each other grow. Their daughter can read so much faster now. She still sings out, which is just absolutely precious, but like seeing the growth not only in the daughter's skills, the mother's understanding strategy now, but they all have something that the four of them can share together. And so that togetherness is just it's so good. Being able to see that really brings a warmth to my heart. Not to say that I never had those experiences growing up, but seeing that those parents give it their all to be involved. It just makes me really cherish, the Saturdays where my parents weren't working and okay, let's go outside, let's climb some trees, fly some kites or whatever. And it's that togetherness that just keeps the ball rolling for all of us. Being able to just provide that stepping stone or the fork in the road, like there are options and you can travel many roads. It's very rewarding to be a teacher. My parents had very good hindsight as to what I could potentially do as an individual and for others as well.
Have you ever had to talk to someone about streaming that did not understand streaming? And if so, please tell us a story.
They understood kind of the base concept of streaming. Yeah, you show yourself off doing a thing on the internet and people watch you do this thing and I
love how you emphasize the questioning at the end, because that's exactly what they do. They're like, wait, I don't understand.
Yeah, it just kind of sounds, and they might, just see it as something dumb. Like, I don't understand, why do people like watching somebody play a video game that you could be playing yourself?
Yeah.
But it's being able to relate to somebody, being able to put yourself out there and share your own experiences and ask others, open the door for them. What are some of the struggles you've had with this game? Wow, really funny how we're making connections to this and bring it into a real life scenario and just kind of let the conversations go from there. So it's not just visually showing yourself off, but it's building these bonds and creating these communities and places where you feel safe, where you can be you, and really just, whether you do it to, I'm going to make a difference today, or, you know what, I want to have fun. I want to spend time with the family. Let's do this. It's just so important. And there have been times where I am just not feeling it. But as soon as I hit start streaming, I am head over heels. Anything that was bad in my mind just goes away. And it's really been very therapeutic for me to be able to come onto such a wholesome place and get such great feedback, whether or not I've been having a bad day or anybody who's viewing the stream has been having a bad day. That relation of, we all understand that things happen in life, but we've got support.
Creating an audience was something I always wanted to do and create a community. I'm actually surprised that it took me as long as it did. Do you ever feel that way about yourself? Like, I can't believe I didn't get into streaming any sooner.
Yes, because I actually bought a bunch of streaming materials 6 years back. It was something that I had thought about for a couple of years at that point. So like 2 or 3 years, like, oh, maybe I'll get into streaming Pokemon stuff. It's so hard for me to treat myself. I was like, yeah, it's my birthday. It's the best excuse to treat yourself. So I got like a mic and a camera, and then I just sat and collected dust. But after this pandemic hit us, and all of the Pokemon professors and everybody at my leagues were like, well, how do we hang out together now? How do we keep what we love so much alive? Socializing and sharing this love for the game. That's really what brought me over to Twitch. First, I started doing the Facebook live streams with my other professors. We would all take turns opening cards. And then I said, we should move this to a bigger platform. It's a bit easier for people to find you on Twitch versus on Facebook, where you might be seeing, so that only friends of friends can find me or whatever. Yeah. But I want to be able to really share my love for Pokemon. That is such a big thing now, especially after 25 years. Making that that leap, even though I was absolutely terrified of, well, I haven't been up to date on any technology things recently, but I'm gonna teach myself how to do it. Anytime I have a question, I know I've got people that I know who would have that knowledge and be more than willing to share it with me and grow from there. I would not be able to have done this all without them, but yes, I want to just share my love with as many people as possible. So why not make the jump to Twitch?
You said 6 years ago you bought that streaming equipment, right?
Yeah.
What happened in the 6 years that you were you contemplating things? Were you doubting things, or what was going on?
I had just finished my time with college. I didn't graduate. I called it good at 2 years after I was in graphic design, and I was doing an understudy with Nike. And the art director that I was working with looked at my portfolio and said, I'm not trying to sound rude or anything, but why are you going to college? I said, to get a piece of paper. And he said, we're graphic designers, and as artists, it's our portfolio that speaks for themselves. And he kind of like looked down at my portfolio like, do you catch what I'm saying? And like, oh, so I don't have to be spending thousands of dollars every year to get a piece of paper. And he's like, yeah, your portfolio will speak for itself. You put the work in, it will show. And I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be putting myself in more debt. So I stopped there. Then I was like, okay, so I guess I can start designing things for streaming and stuff. And I had a friend that was doing YouTube. I got to help him here and there and learn a little bit from him. And then life started happening. Like I went and visited my family in Japan for the first time in a few years. My grandfather wasn't doing well, and he had to have a very risky surgery that was 50-50 if he was going to survive it or not. But it was definitely something he needed to do. He has always been a runner. And for a runner to lose the ability to run, but hey, we can have a surgery and you won't have any pain if you survive it, or be able to actually just walk and take care of yourself. He's such a big time runner that he had been in newspapers since he was a high school student. We would let him, of course, as a family, let him take that 50-50 risk to do what it was that kept him going, which was his passion. I dropped everything to go out and see him, take care of anything that I needed to do. But I was also in a long relationship at that point. So it was introducing my partner at the time to my family, see how they would do and stuff. Things really fell apart overseas there. And I learned a new side of them that I was relieved to learn then. They showed some disdain and racism, unfortunately, towards my culture, my family members in particular, too. So that was an eye-opening moment, even if it was not the best of eye-opening moments, knowing that in the long run that, okay, this is not going to work out. This is not okay. And being able to call things quits there and then kind of rebuild myself from there. So it was really being able to tell myself, you know what, I'm not going to stream now because I want to be able to put myself out there when I'm feeling healthy, at least mentally, and knowing that I wasn't in a great place and I wanted to learn to rebuild myself first. I wanted to make that step first and make sure that I'm not putting that out there. Not say that, everything's great now. I always share my health concerns with them and any updates. Even my cat, who was very, very sick the past couple of weeks, but sharing like, hey, we've got an update. Yes, she's got some ailment, but it's treatable and we're all good. Yeah, making sure that I can actually acknowledge people, because when we're in our dark places, it's hard to truly listen and acknowledge others. And you tend to be more negative and put yourself down. And that's not positivity. So it's kind of breaking past to the point where you can actually acknowledge others. And that's what really made it so that I'm going to wait until the time is right. And with the pandemic hitting last year, I said, okay, my time is now. I'm very timid, but we're going to do it.
How would you define that you best represent your family-friendly content?
Just trying to think of like core values with Pokemon, and even if, their professor core values may be different from their overall, like, what do we want with this, creation of a video game, for example. They've always been really big. And a lot of people have asked why. Like, why do they do events where you have to go to like GameStop or whatever and download your Pokemon? Like, why do I have to go somewhere? Why can't I use my own Wi-Fi? And it's been a message that they've shared multiple times, but maybe not a lot of people are keeping an open ear or realizing either, is that Nintendo's about bringing people together. So giving you the opportunity to go to a game store, really run into other gamers and see, oh, you've got your DS out or your Switch. are you downloading Pokemon right now? Yes, I am. No way, I'm here for the same thing. And you've got a conversation started, maybe a brand new friendship. And that's what, their focus has been on. So being able to share, like, yes, let's build a place that's friendly. Why not be family friendly? Because that's more people I could be, become friends with and share my passion with. And just evolving from there, like knowing that, not to say I never curse, because I do curse from time to time, but catching myself in my environments, it's place and time. It's always place and time. Make sure that I'm keeping my language clean and I'm just being me in my sense of, cool, thank you for being here. Let's have fun together. Again, that connection of Pokemon, anybody can appreciate it, young or old. So I said, why not? Let's just stick to that family-friendly live label or family-friendly label. And then, overcame David Kimball saying, hey, are you familiar with families and do you want to join one?
Yeah.
It was a no-brainer for me.
So if you had to choose, which would be more significant in regards to your stream? Your sense of creativity or your love for Pokemon?
Oh, that's so tough.
I know, because you possess both. It's a devil's advocate question. I just had to throw it in.
It really is.
I should have had you prepare.
That's so tricky. I mean, okay, so if I went with Pokemon, and I lose the creativity, I mean, I'd still be able to say hi and make friends.
Yeah.
I would still have a passion of mine. I just might not be, let's draw together and stuff. But if I take the creativity and lose the Pokemon, I think I'd rather lose the creativity, honestly.
And keep the Pokemon.
They do go hand in hand with each other, especially with me combining art and Pokemon. Pokemon has always pulled me out of the darkest places, and art wasn't always there. Like there are times where I just can't draw. Like my mood isn't right or whatever. But Pokemon, I think literally just because of that one scenario. Yeah, I'm going to pick up a Pokemon game and play it. I haven't touched this cartridge in 10 years. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Being able to just pick it up and start a journey, you're finding the creativity there. So even if I can't create it myself, I have the help of Pokemon there to bring some sort of creativity into my life. A big realization to be asked that question.
Yeah, it really gets you to think.
I appreciate the actual on the spot though. You can see the whole thinking. You can watch the gears turn in my head.
We'll take out Pokemon and creativity out of this question. So, other than that, is there anything else that keeps you growing as an individual?
I mentioned before, my mother's big into comic arts and I am too. So we also like reading comics and stuff. There are a few series that we read together where a character, whether they're a popular character or not, said something where I said, yeah, I need this quote in my life. And some were, one, she seemed very like a naive character, but very sweet, maybe like too nice to everybody kind of a character. But she always said, just be yourself. And it showed like she was bullied regularly, but she had two very, very close friends that were always there for her if anything bad happened. And I said, I'd rather have two amazing friends than a bunch of people that wouldn't want to stand up for me. Just being yourself and having those people say, yes, I acknowledge you and I appreciate you 100% as to who you are. And so I was like, I want that kind of support. I want to be me and only me. Why should I try to be somebody else? So that's one that came with me, as well as another one who is a character that's always pushing himself. And his mantra is to be a better version of himself than he was yesterday. So I said, okay, I want to do something, even if it's, again, a small little goal, to be better than I was yesterday. So finding something, I mean, it doesn't happen every day, but just keeping those two things in mind, just be yourself and, make small improvements in some way or another, be open to the growth.
What does that mean to you? Do you actually find something new to learn from every day? Or is it maybe like every week?
I don't necessarily acknowledge it every day, just outright. When I'm streaming, somebody will be like, oh, hey, you like random Pokemon facts? Like, did you know that, this artist did this for Pokemon one time and it ended up doing this? I'm like, no, but thanks for sharing. Like, that's a little bit of growth. Like, I learned something new. And I think really just learning is growth. Even if it's like, oh, I did something better than I did yesterday, and acknowledging, oh, there's a small improvement there. And sometimes that's really hard to do with yourself. While that may not happen every single day, it is something that I'm open to, even if it's, again, something small as trivia, because someday I'm going to be on Jeopardy.
Of course.
And that one random fact that one person shared that one time is going to, get me that daily double or something like that. Just leaving yourself open to opportunities and acknowledging, yes, this happened, or good on this person, good on me. That's what growth's about.
What is maybe one of the biggest lessons that you've learned from streaming?
So since I started streaming, it's probably the don't stress about the numbers game. Just be you. It's like, what was that baseball saying? I always associate with baseball because of the movie, but
Field of Dreams.
Build it and they will come. Yep. Build it and they will come. Build the channel.
Yes.
And if people like it, they'll come.
So how does your personality differ on stream versus off stream?
It probably depends on the setting. If I'm with, my siblings or my high school buddies, for example, then you're going to get like, let's go Powerpuff Girls here, but like the rowdy rough boys, you're just going to get just a bunch of just rowdy kids playing friendship destroying games like, Mario Kart. Yeah. The true ugly side of things.
Double Dash. Oh my goodness. I've definitely
Dash.
Destroyed some friendships with that.
Oh yeah. So you relate.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm at League, I do have that kind of like goofy rowdy rough side of me with the professors. But if I'm around the kiddos, just instantly like this is what the kiddos get. It's like, how can I help you? Let's just hang out, have fun, feel comfortable, and enjoy the game. I also am very much guilty of being a workaholic. I'm always finding things to do, even if I'm not streaming. Like, how can I improve here? Is there something I should be working on? Like, oh, I should probably, clean the bathroom or something. And it's like any little thing can be a form of work. Mm-hmm. And having that off switch for me, it's really hard to the point where I get really stressed out by my own brain not being able to shut off. The people who are, around me regularly, or my friends who, even if they live, far away, but I've known them for, years, I can just be like, having not a great time, fam. I'm just super stressed, and people are like, oh yeah, we can tell. Mm-hmm. And just being called out on like that too, just like, yeah, we can tell, or like, you gotta take some time off or do this, or really stressed, or having to say, hey, I'm really stressed, so don't talk to me for the next hour just so I can get this project done, or just kind of figure myself out. I can be just super stressed or super peppy.
Whenever you're streaming, do you see yourself in a certain role, like a teacher role?
Yeah, in the teacher role, I've been, I've had people of all ages, even ones that could be a grandparent to me, call me mom. Again, I'm so for building your own family, having people who are comfortable enough to give me a nickname like that, in a sense of, if you think of like an older sister or a mother figure, there are usually some sort of thoughts of guidance and warmth there. Just that high praise and acknowledgement from such a simple nickname that shows that what I want to put out to the world of like, yes, be you, let yourself grow. And everybody goes through different things in life, but we all go through kind of the same basis, which is all the emotions and struggles and success. So just being real, and you get that right back.
Are you a big lurker on other streams, or do you find that lurking is your thing more often than chatting, or do you find the opposite?
I think it depends. If it's a new channel, I'll of course just kind of lurk and see what's going on. So I'm not like jumping in saying hello at kind of a random time, but I might wait for a moment of, okay, is this gonna be good or something? Because there have been times where I've jumped onto a stream and like somebody has lost a huge battle or whatever, or tournament, and they're just like, I want to be like, hi. Again, it's like cause and effect, and you also want to think of how is this going to impact, how might this impact them? Which some streamers, like, water down a duck's back, will just be like, hi, sorry you just came in at that rough moment. I totally just did a misplay. Or just once they're just so focused on like, ugh, that just happened, and totally ignoring chat or whatever. Or you'll hop in, and then something happens and you just post an emote, and then all of a sudden a mod or even a random person who's not even a mod pops on and says, hey, welcome to the channel. And then I'm just like, oh, okay, I said something, I was also acknowledged, and I feel welcomed already. I want to do more. So it's a full cycle there. But there are times where really awesome people are streaming, and I'll try to be really active, but then adulting gets in the way, so I'll at least leave a lurk. But I will say, hey, I have to go do this thing, gonna lurk. Communication is very big in any relationship.
The pathway to your destination is never just a straight path to the end. There's forks in the road, there is curves, there's twists, there's U-turns. The more that people realize that it takes 1,000 failures for one success, the better off we all will be.
Not only realizing the weight that there is so many failures to success, it's also acknowledging those and turning that into knowledge.
Like when you look at how many failures will this take for me to get to where I need to be, there is no number for that. You know, it's different from person to person. And that goes back to what we were saying about how everybody's different. Everybody works in different ways. You might have to only fail 3 times to get something, but another, you might have to fail 100,000 times before you actually, until your mind actually wraps around it. The whole matter of coexistence, and people are like, oh, why do some people have to be so hurtful? And so I explain it in the way that if we didn't have those hurtful people in this world, we wouldn't know what the happy and joyful moments are. In a way, we're actually blessed to have those people in our lives, because we wouldn't know the opposite if it didn't come down to it. You know, you could always take the hurtful people out of your life, but you would never know what pure bliss and euphoria is in terms of happiness if you didn't have those people who always get you down, and the people who maybe even come into your stream, and like relating back to stream, the toxicity, you wouldn't know what the opposite of toxicity is if you didn't have the coexistence of both.
You can't have yin without the yang.
What keeps you growing as an individual?
The people in my life. Yes, I want to grow myself, but I want to grow in ways that I can be there for other people. Again, growing up, my parents were working all the time and weren't always around, but they definitely tried to make an impact for the times where they were around, making sure we understood manners. Yes, please, thank you, things like that, focused on our studies as well. And so that we could be, we had a good foundation, and okay, I've got my foundation. Where can I take this? And what do I want to do with this? And it's wanting to continue on that I can kind of help people and hopefully inspire them in a way, even if it's just a relatability, we're just good friends. If you're going to have a tough time, you're going to call your friend. If something really great happened, you just got a promotion, you're going to call your friend and let them know, even if it's just a text. I love being a part of people's life. Even, yes, you can't have the good without the bad, or vice versa. But I want to be there, and I want to help acknowledge those moments with you, and really be excited for the big moments in life and share them with you and let people grow. It's incredibly humbling and wholesome to be able to know that even if just one moment somebody says, hey, I really liked your drawing, it inspired me to start drawing again, or it inspired me to do a small piece. It can be the smallest of things, but it makes such a huge impact knowing that we can have these relationships and continue that growth with each other. We're not on our own journey. We, whether you believe or not, we are all in this together. We are sharing this moment, but also not forgetting to show love for yourself and remember your beginnings.
What is the meaning of life about to you?
I think around high school, I realized I had a fear of death. In that acknowledgement of the fear of death, we were studying Voyage of the Hero and things like that. And it's always that you see that a hero in a story has a goal. And so what is that goal? And knowing, okay, I am also a character. I am a character in my own life. I might be an NPC in another person's life. What do I do with life with the tools that I have? And can I gain more tools and level up? Life might not be a video game, but you can look at it in different analogies. Yeah, I want to say yes to the side quests. I want to level up, and I want to find ways to grow. And if I can help people do that by helping people along the way, whether or not I'm that, NPC mom that just, introduces you to the game and, oh, hi, welcome home. Don't forget to do this or whatever to start your journey tomorrow, to being, that rival that you continuously run into throughout your own story, or you view me as the teacher that's just guiding you through the way, which is incredibly humbling. I want to bring a source of light into as many people's lives as I can. So for me, my meaning, really the big subject of this is growth. Give those opportunities, make sure that they can acknowledge open doors, and whether they need me or not, know that they know where to find me, and just say hi. I just want to be there for others and put myself for others.
Do you have any socials that people can find you at? Other than Twitch, of course.
Other than Twitch, yes, I've got a Facebook page and a Facebook group. I also have a Discord, which you can find all those links over on my Twitch channel. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter. I'm not great at socials, but I've been really focusing on trying to get those leveled up over the last 2 weeks. But yeah, always growing every day. Big shout outs and thank you to you, Juicy, your community, and my community as well. Just one big happy extended family there.
We will talk soon, I'm sure, either in my stream or your stream. We'll be back and forth. But other than that, I'll talk to you later.
As always, stay safe and keep nerding on.